Hello everyone, welcome to Kids Wave Radio with your host Shiloh Macmillan. Today, we're talking about big ideas and creativity. Across the UK, pupils are being encouraged to come up with solutions for real-world challenges through the National Innovation Challenge, a competition for young people. Joining me now is TV and radio presenter, children's author and one of the judges for the competition, Konnie Huq.
Kids Wave Radio, let your thoughts run free. Listen, learn and share, just be what you can be. Find us on Spotify, anytime you go. Kids Wave Radio, let it flow.
Welcome to the show, Konnie.
Hello, Shiloh. Great to be here.
It's great having you on. For anybody hearing about this for the first time, what is the National Innovation Challenge and who can take part?
Okay, well, the National Innovation Challenge is a groundbreaking competition that enables schools, sixth forms and further education college students individually or in groups of up to 3 to propose solutions for current and future industry challenges. So it can be a concept, it can be a business idea, it could be a design prototype, an initiative that fits within the theme of sustainability and AI. So any bright sparks who are listening, who are aged 16 upwards and in education, this could be the challenge for you. What we're doing is that we're aiming to get kids to think outside of the box within the theme of sustainability and AI and come up with something that could be helpful to us in modern day living in the future along the theme of sustainability and AI. So we want people to start thinking big. Basically, the prize is something. Are you ready for this, Shiloh? It's a money can't buy once in a lifetime opportunity. The prize is, drum roll, an all expenses paid 2-week trip to MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Boston, Massachusetts, where you go on a once in a lifetime trip and you get to hobnob with the creme de la creme of STEM, and you get to present to a range of MIT internal departments. You'll get to attend lectures. There's also social aspects, basketball matches, ice hockey, local US, UK history tours, maybe a spot of whale watching or the Statue of Liberty. It's really, really quite a exclusive prize. And we want anybody that is age 16 or up to get involved if they are in education. And anyone listening, if you're a parent or a teacher, these young people have to be accompanied as well. So it could be a great, incentive for you to get people involved, essentially. But AI is something that is all around us at the moment and only growing. So this competition really is harnessing young people and their critical thinking, creativity and problem solving it, and coupling it with AI or sustainability to come up with something brilliant for the future.
Whoa, that prize is amazing. I'm sure everybody out there would like to win that once in a lifetime trip. It's fantastic.
Yes, and the entries last year were phenomenal, actually, and the winners were such amazing young people. We had one entry that was all about making homes more carbon efficient with the use of drones, and the company Atkins Realis was so impressed with it, they're continuing to lend support to the initiative. Another entrant, Emily Cheeseman, made a passive device for litter collection along the coast, and Boston City Council loved that and want to implement that device when it's out there on the market. We also had a cranial cooler that was designed by Valentina Vicario, and it is something used to reduce migraines and post-surgical swelling, and her design actually got pre-patented, and she has received offers from external companies for shareholding in it. So I mean, this is something that can really open doors to the future. It's in partnership as well with Amazon, so there really are big names and companies involved in this.
Whoa, those inventions sound totally amazing. They're really going to help us in the future and now as well.
Absolutely.
Now, we're hearing that skills like AI and innovation could shape future jobs. How important do you think those skills will be for teens thinking about their careers?
Very important indeed, actually. And we did a survey and we found that nearly half of all people believe that AI education should actually be implemented in schools earlier. So that's 47% of people think that we need to be learning about this stuff early on so that we're proficient in it. But 3/4 of our survey also thought that young people don't get enough real world experience. So this competition really harnesses both of those stats and takes those on board. 2/5 of UK adults believe that adapting to new technologies such as AI is going to be the most important skill for young people in the next 10 years.
Okay, I see. So it's going to be trying to learn more about AI in schools and helping children to actually learn how to use it productively as well.
Yes, because it's becoming essential in the modern workplace. And, 3/5 of our survey believed that because of that, it's essential to give young people an understanding in AI and how to use it to their advantage. It's something that is not going away. So you can't fight it. You have to feel it and work with it for a bright and brilliant future, essentially.
Definitely, you need to actually learn how to use it and enable it to help you.
That's exactly right. Working with AI. So, we are looking for concepts, business ideas, design prototypes, initiatives that fit within the theme of sustainability or AI. And we want you to enter by Friday, the 13th of March. And all the information is at hruc.ac.uk. That's hruc.ac.uk, and if you go to that website you'll find a QR code and you can follow that and it takes you to all the information on the competition, on the opportunities that it will offer. But I must stress that all entries have to come via your school or your teachers. You can't do it behind their backs, essentially. It needs to have their backing.
Okay, what about for the children who are home educated?
Yeah, so if you're home educated, you could be accompanied by your parent or whoever is teaching you within that home education environment. But I should also mention that you have to be aged 16 years or over to enter. So if you're a bit younger, there's always next year's competition. We're making this an annual competition. So maybe you're 15, but you're going to be 16 next year. And then this gives you a whole year to get thinking on a brilliant entry. And I must stress that this is something that universities have looked at and been very impressed with our current winners. It's really helping them with their future job and education pathways. Because we're living in times now where everything seems to be in a state of flux. And I don't know whether you've seen, Shiloh, but lately there's been a lot of talk in the press and the media about further education and the interest on student loans. And it's putting off a lot of people into going into university, for instance. So it's yet another barrier to entry. So this competition, not only can it help you with if you do go down that university path, but also the big companies, the CEOs, the thinkers and essentially people in education that you'll be subjected to will help you to, if you wanted to, go into the job market. Lots of people now are looking at sort of getting into sponsorship jobs within companies such as Amazon, who are supporting this competition, that might not require the university pathway. So this opens doors in more ways than one.
Indeed it does. And actually, speaking about university, I did interview someone who works in aerospace and designing rockets and all sorts of things like that. And they chose an apprenticeship over university for pretty much the same reason.
Yes, absolutely. And, nowadays, people are realizing that for certain career paths, not all of them, but it might not necessarily be advantageous to spend 3 years doing a degree which can sometimes just be a screening device, essentially, and not vocational. So obviously, if you're going to be a vet or a doctor, you need to have that degree. Although there are now, in this modern world that we're living in, even pathways that are sort of going down that route of on-the-job learning to even get into jobs like that. But my son's school, for example, they do T levels, which is a rather new qualification in their sixth form years. And they have a partnership with IBM, for instance, where IBM look to take certain students into the job market by bypassing that university system. And, lots of these, are better pathways for certain types of mind as well. It all depends on the individual. So there's lots and lots of factors to look at in this sort of changing world that we're living in.
Indeed it is. Now, for kids out there who want to enter or are looking to enter for the other next year or the year after, what kind of ideas or inventions could they think about?
Yeah, so obviously, these buzzwords at the moment, like sustainability and AI, are buzzwords for a reason. We're living in a world where modern living is so fast and progressive. Although it's great and it makes our life easier, it also throws up lots and lots of problems. And as human beings, we have to fix those problems that we make. So taking the example of, carbon footprint, for example, we have taken carbon out of the Earth's core, essentially spoiling the beautiful feng shui we had for millions of years between oxygen and carbon. So maybe looking at ways for carbon capture, because we have spoilt the balance between carbon gas and oxygen gas, and we need to redress that balance. So one of the entries did look at carbon efficient homes last year, but there are many, many different ways to look at carbon capture, and that could be looking at other ways of, for instance, greening. We already live in a world where, say, green roofing has become a thing, using sedum on walls. So maybe you're looking at different ways to up our oxygen quota in life. Maybe you're looking at a recycling initiative or a way to upcycle, a way to make sure that people live sustainably and resourcefully. Another thing that you might be looking at is something along the theme of AI, a way that we can use AI in harmony with humans working together to better maybe something to do with sustainability or eco-living. There are many ways that we can make our future brighter and better. It's just about addressing problems in the world we're living in. And, that might be something to do with, inequality. It might be something to do with mental well-being. It might be something to do with eco sensibilities. But whatever the idea you have is, it needs to somehow fit within the theme of sustainability and AI. So perhaps using the concept of AI, or perhaps addressing the climate crisis.
Now, I think that was very helpful for people who want to enter this competition. So you've kind of given them an idea of what they want to look for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Konnie, actually growing up, did you ever think this sort of technology would ever exist? And what do you think it means for the human race? Are we kind of like destined to become slaves to the AI machine?
Well, growing up, I didn't really ever think that computers and tech would be able to do the things that they're doing now. So I do remember somebody saying to me when I was young, in the future, we'll all have video phones and we'll be able to look at each other while we're talking to each other,
Whoa.
and I'm talking about growing up in a world where phones were connected by wires to a wall. Essentially, when I grew up, there weren't even mobile phones. And I do remember thinking, oh, that's kind of silly. We don't need to see each other's faces when we talk on a screen in our house. But we've gone better than that. You can have a screen in your pocket where you can look at someone while you talk. So I thought, oh, it's not really necessary. And a lot of the things about modern day living in AI aren't necessarily necessary. It's just to do with humans having an easier life, essentially. So I do think part of, how far AI will grow depends on the greed of mankind, essentially. When is enough enough? When are we happy enough with what we have as opposed to sad about what we don't have? And that is a bigger question for governments, companies, institutions. But depending on that, are we willing to put the brakes on AI? The answer to your question will manifest depending on that.
Thank you so much for your insight into that. Unfortunately, we are coming to the end of this wonderful interview.
Oh, boo. Can I just mention one last thing? There is also a webinar on the 4th of March from 12:30 to 1 o'clock, and you can register it or access it via the website, which I'll just remind you of, hruc.ac.uk.
Thank you so much, Konnie, for coming on the show. You've been listening to me, Shiloh Macmillan, and we've just had TV and radio presenter